Donnie B, GotDaBeats.
Good evening, everybody. It's Donnie B, GotDaBeats. You already know what time it is when you hear that beat bang. We live on the beat. So you know what time it is. Time for that glorious intro, man. So tonight's guest is a brother I've known for a very long time. Albeit I gotta own it. I haven't kept in contact with this band in a very long time. I gotta do better. But hey, that's I own that. But this brother here is probably he's got more. His accolades are listed like freaking alphabets. Like the brothers, he's in heavy working in the music industry. He's been in NYC, back in in the home in the DMV doing his thing. But let's get to the accolades. 2004 Grammy winner for best rap performance duo group Shake Your Tail Feather. He was the engineer for Shake Your Tail Feather on the Bad Boys 2 John. Okay, 1999 Grammy nominee for best rap album Mace Harlem World. 1998 Grammy winner for best rap album P. Diddy and the Family, No Way Out. Now, if you never heard of none of these albums, I don't know what rock you hanging up under, but these are polarizing albums. Even though Shake Your Tail Feather was a single, he's a polarizer. But nonetheless, his brother's had his hand in a lot of work. But the thing I love about him most is that he's humble as hell. And he from the home base, y'all. Like the home base, y'all. Like I don't even understand that D, the dot, the M, the dot, the V, yo. And he puts on his hard hat, goes to work. His brother been doing his thing, and he even is an educator. You know what I'm saying? So this brother right here, I got an extreme fondness for. I check for him as much as I can, and I'm gonna definitely do better to keep contact with him. But nonetheless, somebody else I aspire to be. And look up to this brother right here, educator, music executive, and former managing director of Bad Boy Records, Daddy's House, Record Studios, Stephen Dent. What's going on, brother?
What's good, Donnie B? How you been, man? Been way too long, man.
It's been entirely too long. And like I said, that's on me though.
That's on me too, man. I mean, it is what it is. Things happen. We grow. Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. But like I said, you busy. I understand what it's like to be busy. So when people are busy, I'm like, I'm not busy. I'm gonna get up. Next week. Next week turns into next month with turns and everything else after that.
It ain't never that busy, man. There's always time. So if you make time, you got it. So nobody's ever that busy. People want to be that busy. So. No disrespect. I'm just saying, make time for what you do. What you want.
That's 1,000% though. That's that was like more than $1. You kept it definitely more than $1 on that for sure. But it's great talking to you, man. It definitely, and like I said, ask you to be on the show, and it wasn't even like you ain't even Hollywood me or nothing, bro. Like, and that just means so much to be made. You're just like, oh yeah, sure, when, so totally awesome, and I appreciate you, man.
Oh, good.
So let's get into this, man. Who is Stephen Dent? Tell the people who you are and how you got here.
Oh man, that's a 2-year answer. Born and raised in DC, lived in Oxon Hill, Glass Manor.
Hey.
Lived in Southeast, Northwest, Northeast, everywhere but Southwest back home. Recording engineer, wanted to, I was a DJ at I heard they're closing Crystal Skates, and I used to DJ at Crystal Skate. That was my first real gig, was DJing at Crystal Skate. made drum, I did drum programming for people, wanted to do get into music, started becoming an engineer, went to Omega Recording, left there, needed more. Me and my partner Marlon, he did the Water Dance, we put that out and it went #1 in DC and pretty much everywhere it played. And at that time I left to go to New York to go back to school. I just needed more education. And before I could come back home, ended up working with CNC Music Factory, a studio called Firehouse Recording, where Wu-Tang, Master Ace, and a lot of other people, a lot of the Juice Crew worked there. Anybody from Loud Records, because Loud Records was right upstairs. Left totally the music, I stopped working, and a friend called. Well, I'm not even gonna say a friend, a dude that I didn't get along with at all in school, called one day and said, "Hey, do you want to work with Bad Boy?" And boom, that was August 2000, August 1995. And I've been working with or around, Bad Boy ever since, track masters, a lot of different people, a lot of different studios, genres, musical styles, everything. So it's just, it's been a blessing. So, but I'm Steve Dent from Southeast, Steve Dent from Glass Manor. I'm the same dude, I don't front like I did anything special. It was just work, and that's all it is.
Right. And I always respected that. Like I said, that was the one thing that I took away. And pause, shout out Marlon Wiggins.
Shit. Who's calling right now? You ain't gonna believe I told you.
Marlon, hey, big bro. For sure, big bro. And shout out Marlon Wiggins, man. And shout out to the Water Dance. That was a very pivotal record for the area, man. For real.
Oh, I mean, it's a monumental record, man. And I mean, it was. I'm just gonna say it. I think it was probably one of the best records that ever come out of DC. But I'm kind of partial to it. It wasn't the best made, but it had the best vibe of what we were, at that time. We did it in a basement on Xenia Street, Southeast DC. So you know what I mean? It said everything you had to say about DC to me, and it had a little hip hop vibe to it, funk vibe, go-go vibe, 100% DC to me.
And I agree, and I did a little stint on the circuit too, in my own right. But the one thing that I was always enamored with Water Dance was that the reach. Everybody reached very far. Like I remember, I went to Florida A&M's band camp in 1994. Yeah, and down there they was playing it.
Yep, Damon, your man Damon told Marlon, like that's how they hooked up.
Yeah,
he moved something from Marlon. Marlon told him he was the one that did it, and he said, "Wait a minute, we used to play that in band, or at Hampton. At Hampton, they played it at Hampton in their band." So I heard it in London. Went to a club. They're playing it in London. They had no idea that I was involved with it at all. So it played everywhere, man.
Wow. Yeah. Shout out Damon, aka Skillet. That's what we call him.
I'm glad I know that now.
Yeah,
Skillet.
Get him. But that's my big bro, man. I learned a lot from him as well musically. But shout out to Skillet, man. How does that feel for you? Like you said, you in London and you just casually out and enjoying your life, and they banging something that you created, and they don't have no clue that that's you. Like,
well, I mean, it for that record, because I was so close to the source, meaning it was something that we had talked about and Marlon completed and did it. Like something that he had in his brain, like after we've talked for all these years, like we've been partners for 30 years, like literally 30 years. And, just understanding where that song came from, that to me hit one, that hit the best because, I was there when it was created. I heard it. I saw it before. I think, Marlon tells me I was the first one to tell him that was a hit because it was, but Same thing with some of the records I work on, that I've worked on for, in New York. I would go places and I'd hear the songs on the radio and people dancing and, people go, oh, that's my song. I'm just, I just sit there and go, yeah. You know what I mean? So, but to me, most of that stuff was work. The water dance was different. That was life. That was Southeast, when I hear that, that's home. So it was just one of those things. And, when I first got here, Flex used to play it all the time. Funk Flex used to play it all the time up here. And nobody, even, my classmates didn't understand that was me. And I gave them the record, but, oh, that's that go-go shit, get that out of here. Then once Funk Flex started playing it, everybody's coming to me, hey, can I get those records? Nah, you can go to the store. I took them to Rock and Soul. I said, you can go to Rock and Soul and buy them. That's, I have no more. You didn't want them. So right. It's all good. I mean, but to me, that's just history. That's a historic joint to me. And I'm glad to say I was, partner to that completion, Yeah,
they need to put you guys in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Like,
oh, we talking already. I'm already talking Hip Hop Hall of Fame. So that's shout out to my man Rock.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, that needs to go down. Like I endorse this message.
Yeah, I mean that was the song that kind of bridged hip hop and go-go. So it's not to say we were the first. I think what DJ Kool was doing is rapping like we would normally rap over like the New York music or the breaks that New York people would rap over. I think that was groundbreaking because that plays today. And and Kool is the grandfather to us. Kool is the man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he plays the water dance everywhere he goes. So that's another like, well, how was somebody that I remember going to clubs watching Kool up there doing his thing, and it's just like that's what made me want to be a DJ, along with all the other DJs, DJ Mix and a couple other DJs from the area. Vince Reed, that was my man. It's a lot of Randy. I can't think of everybody's name right here, but I mean, just a lot of DJs that I sat behind. Ron Hunt, all those guys back then. Like that's what made me want to be a DJ. So, that was Kool. I'm gonna say Kool did it first. We made it better,
right? Because
what we did was original.
Yeah. It definitely was a staple of the community, you know what I mean, and the culture. And shout out to DJ Kool too, because happened across him a couple times in the DMV. That brother was always humble too, man, and definitely like engaging. It's different. I mean, Biz too, because you see Biz out in
Biz lived down there, man. So what a lot of people don't know is like a lot of New Yorkers got a lot of their vibe from what we were doing in DC. And I mean, I've talked to Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh is cool with me. Heavy D was cool with me. A lot of those cats, they would just say, if it wasn't for DC, I'm not gonna say if it wasn't for DC, they just got a lot of inspiration from DC and we showed them love because whenever Doug came to DC, we loved Doug because of the show. The show was straight go-go. I mean, that's what that was, and Heavy D, I mean, we just love Heavy. Hev was my man, and I miss him dearly, but he said DC always gave him love, and he always reciprocated, gave us love. So and even Andre Harrell was like, yo man, we love DC coming down there and getting the vibe, as they say. Yeah, I call it stealing. They came to get the vibe. Yeah. Okay. All right. I know.
Right.
It's all good. Music is music. As long as you're making something positive, man. We made the music so everybody could use it. I just wish the city would have got a little bit more respect, but we didn't like anybody else. When people came down,
right.
They, you could be Earth, Wind and Fire. A go-go band was going to close. You know what I mean? And people didn't understand that, and they got mad and didn't want to give DC love because we liked our homegrown better than we liked them. And that was just, to this day, I still rock. Marlon just gave me a whole bunch of go-go joints, that I just rock in the car. When I'm down in, Miami, I'm rocking it. I'm in LA, I'm rocking it. So I play go-go everywhere, man. That's home.
Yeah. Yeah. I was leaving work earlier today, and I was actually banging old NEG myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, even some of the new bands that they put together, like all these other, I can't think of everybody's name right now. I can't think of the names, but man, it's just they did Sade record again. I can't think of the name of the group, man. I'm sorry, I'm old, but
Those are like unfamiliar faces.
So yeah. That was, they're familiar. That's what it was. Familiar. I think it's Familiar Faces. I don't know, but that joint, they kicked that Sade joint, man. That's like whew, that pocket in that joint. Boop. I love it. My best. Yeah, we can talk about go-go all day. So
now we need to. That's you know what I'm saying. Like that's my whole thing. You know, and I tell my girlfriend all the time. Like I had to try to because she's from LA, and I'd be like, yo, it's nothing like go-go, man.
Yeah.
And even more than that, it's one better. It's nothing like being at the go-go.
Oh yeah, nothing like it. Yeah,
nothing
like you can't even pretend like you know what a go-go is until you've been there. My wife, like I got my wife hooked on Chuck, so she can tolerate Chuck Brown. She probably can't tolerate RE, but she can tolerate Chuck Brown, you know.
Yeah, hey, they just don't know, man. They just don't know. But let's talk about the culture specifically, right? Because you know, again, it's great that to have an accomplished brother, because you know how they always say people leave and don't give back, right? But you a brother that's, you know, you've traversed, you've been back and forth, right? And you've kept your hand in the DMV. But let's talk about where it started for you in DC. Like, what was it like growing up for you on the blocks out there?
I mean, I was all over. I was blessed with not having to be in one neighborhood all the time. You know, we were kind of nomads. You know, we lived everywhere from Paradise. You know, our church was in, you know, on Martin Luther King Avenue, right across from Berry Farms. So, you know, we spent a lot of time in Berry Farms. When I was younger, like we were up in Park Chester, like, you know, we would leave Hydesville and go over to Park Chester and Berry Farms. Had family in Valley Green, you know, I'm naming all the hoods, but that's just what it was. And I was blessed not to have to stay in all of those places all the time. So, you know, we always lived somewhere else except Paradise. We actually lived in Paradise, like, but we lived with another family because my mom and my step pops, they divorced or they separated. And, you know, we went our way, he went his way. But it, you know, it was, and I hate to say it was tough, but it was hard dealing with, you know, you had to deal with people in the hood. I mean, it toughened your skin. You know, you lost a lot of fights. You won some, or you won a lot and you lost some. It was just, that's just what you had to do. But, you know, just to say that I'm still here and you know, survive, a lot of people can't say that. I mean, I got family members that got caught up in a lot of stuff, and my blessing was they kept me out of a lot of stuff. And the fact that people knew who, you know, the family that we were with in those hoods, like they didn't really mess with us that much because they knew they had to answer to I call it a higher power, you know. I mean, me and Marlon talk about it all the time. It's like, you know, once they find out who you were with, they're like, oh, my bad. They will come back and apologize, bring you sunflower seeds and annihilators, you know what I mean? So it's like, damn, really? It's like that. You know, but growing up, once you look back, you can see all of that stuff. But during that time, it was just, you know, we were just out there. And, you know, I was up Northwest. So, you know, that was a different vibe. Northeast was a different vibe. In Glass Manor, where, you know, which I spent most of my time from junior high through high school. So it, you know, that was totally different. We lived on top of the hill. We had to fight to go down the hill, that way, this way, that way, and that way. That was just part of growing up, you know, top of the hill and versus the townhouses versus Deal Drive. I mean, it was just what it was, you know. And I hate to say, it wasn't a gang kind of thing. It was just you in my neighborhood, you on my street, you know, and you had to represent, you know. And again, you know, we played more sports. We, you know, did a whole lot of stuff. There was a lot of musicians. I mean, my street alone, Glass Manor Drive, I mean, my God, the musicians that came off of Glass Manor Drive. And, you know, it's crazy. The people that came out of Oxon Hill, you know, Michelle, Taraji, myself, we had football players, Boo Baby. I mean, there was Derek Finner. I mean, we had a lot of people that was around that we, that did positive things. Not to say there was a whole bunch of people that didn't do the negative things. It was just that there was a lot of positivity. There was a lot of creativity if you focused and you did what you were supposed to do. So, and again, I'm not saying it was easy, but I don't want to say like, oh my God, everything was, the weight of the world was on my shoulder. It wasn't. I didn't think about it. I mean, I think about it now when people hear where you come from. They say, I'm like, dude, that's all we had,
Right. Not a lot of options, right?
Right. Not a lot of options. You just, you live where your parents tell you to live and you deal with it.
Right. Right. Interesting. Yeah, and I agree. I got a lot of friends in came out of Glass Manor, came out of South Lawn, that whole little area out there. Shout out Oxdale High School. And funny, I actually met Taraji right after she rapped Baby Boy. Funny, I met her at I used to play with the Hucklebucks. Met her at Hucklebucks played with Backyard out at Oxon Hill.
Okay.
And she was out there after they rapped, and she brought her son out there, and it was just like, it was interesting, but that was only one time. I can't say like, oh, that's my girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the homie and shit,
No, we were in school together. I didn't know her. Like, I didn't know she went there until somebody said, she from Oxon Hill. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm glad the sister did something positive, man. It's great, Right. It's great to just know that where you come from, that there's a lot. I mean, we had Johnny Gill, Marvin Gaye. I mean, DC has had a lot of talented people come out, basketball players, PG County, period. You know what I mean? And if Len Bias had made it, man, it would have, man, my God, we would have been sitting on top of the world right now. So, no, I mean, I'm going to put it out there. You wouldn't be saying a lot about Michael Jordan. Now, I'm going to put it out there.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Bias used to shut them down, but I mean, that would have been good to see them battle at the next level. It would have been great to see, because being a Maryland fan, a Terp fan, I keep the flag behind me. Maryland got my back, so I just I would have loved to have seen that, and that crushed us all. And his family members were real close to us, that grew up in Glass Manor, so it was I wish that brother was here, along with a lot of other people. So,
yeah, I totally understand. But the one thing I can say, I mean, and this is just kind of fast forward, and I don't even know, because they can't even do it down there now, because they didn't tour up Berry Farms, but the league, the Urban
Basketball League.
Yeah, the Urban League, man, that was, man, people used to be down there, bro.
Yeah, that was a spot. I mean, if you go early, leave quick. That's all I can say. I mean, they do the same thing up here. They got the Rucker up here. Yeah, it's the same way. I only went, I think, maybe twice. Go early, leave quick. Get it in and get out. But yeah, I mean, I got mixed feelings about the way the neighborhoods change. But Berry Farms, I can't say was a great place. Mm-hmm. But when you put people in disparaging situations and you give them no hope, no options, nothing else, but you make them fight each other for the scraps that they throw out, then what do you expect is going to happen? You don't give them education to ownership, but yet you give them cheap rent and underserved education and healthcare. What do you think is going to happen? So it's so much that can go in there. You build a subway station while everybody's still living there. Me and Marlon we talk about this a lot. All the neighborhoods where they built the subway in the outskirts of DC or certain areas of DC were all black. Now they're all white, because all the asthma and all the stuff that they were digging up and dredging out of the ground was in the air when we were living there. Now they build, these palatial townhouses in Berry Farm. My God.
I haven't been there since they tore it up.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I went by and noticed it, I saw it from 295, that it was going down. Like, a lot of places were boarded up and stuff like that. I have not driven through there, nor do I desire ever to drive through there. So, I don't even know if the people that we, call family are still there. So it's, I pray that everybody's well, but I am not going back to Berry Farms.
Yeah.
Even on a good day, even if they got mansions there, okay, I got too many memories of Eaton Road, okay? I
Right.
don't need to go back. Same thing with Hayes Street in Paradise. No, sir.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's understandable. It's funny because, like I said, right before I moved to LA, I was working at St. Elizabeth's
Mhm.
with the Coast Guard, and one night I got stranded out there because my car wasn't working, so I had to take the bus, but I had to walk to the bus station through Barry. You know
Had
what I'm
to take
saying?
the A bus,
Yeah. But the thing about it is,
the A8, A6.
it's crazy because it was nobody there because they was taking it down. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
So
right.
maybe the things would have been differently. If it was still alive and kicking. But like I said,
I mean,
that's what.
I love to see my city progress, but when you do it at the expense of an underserved community, it's a problem, and they knew what they were doing when they planned it, instead of giving people better helping people with a better situation then to get out before they started doing that. They allowed people to stay. I did look, man, I can go down that whole political, social, economical rabbit hole if you want, but that's going to change your show.
I like you know what? Like I said, I look at this as a platform. This is one of these things as to where whatever comes out is whatever comes out, brother. Like I'm not scared of it. Like at the
Okay,
end of
I got you, man. I can do it all day. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I understand it. It's all about money, and it's all about commercial development. I totally understand that. I'm not a fool, but I'm not blind either. I'm not blind to how you've treated people, not just myself and others like me, but people. And they talk about Mayor Berry like he was the worst person in the world. He was the first person to give me a job. He was the first person to make sure that we had swimming pools and boys clubs and everything available to us. He made sure we ate lunch during the summer when we couldn't go to school and get lunch and food like that, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what Mayor Berry was doing for us. So you can say what you want about the crack, but he was the best thing for us. Now I don't know what he did in his private time, nor do I care. But he made sure that the youth of DC were properly maintained and taken care of. So, all right, come on, man. Let's get back to music because I go crazy with this.
Nah, you're right. But and again, like you said, shout out to Marion Barry. Like again, all you know him is for the headlines, but he actually put in the work. You wish more people who say they would do the work actually did the damn work. But like you said, that's it. So we talked about how you guys started in the music industry. Pretty topically. I don't think we need to really address that. So I'm gonna ask you this very fundamental question. Considering you spent a lot of time with Bad Boy Records, and if Diddy is your son's godfather, right?
This is my son's uncle.
Son's uncle. Sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What was it like at Bad Boy Records? I mean, like you was there in the meat and potatoes of what everybody knows about Bad Boy Records. Like, what was it like being around that whirlwind of everything? I mean, I'm sure it had highs, extreme lows, the entire thing. What was it like for you?
In a word, crazy. And that goes both ways. Crazy good and crazy just plain old crazy. But to be in a situation where you have a lot of talent around you, and granted, there are other places that have a lot of talent. And I'm not going to say we were the only people in town to have a talent, but Puff was the vibe. He was the vibe. He was the button pusher. He drove everybody crazy, but he made everybody crazy good. So either you handled the pressure or you got handled out the door. Real simple. Like either you could do the job or you couldn't do the job. And there was no two ways about it. If you couldn't do the job, you probably never got called back again. My blessing was I was prepared for that opportunity by some great mentors. And they put me in a great position to not be nervous about my skills, not be nervous about, you know, what someone else was thinking or doing. And then, you know, again, where did I come from? Like, pressure was always around. So it wasn't like it was new, you know, the pressure was new, but it was just a different type of pressure to perform. It wasn't run for your life pressure, but it was survival pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So it was just, it was a great thing to see from behind the curtain, and a great thing to see, you know, the progress of it growing until, you know, you could, I actually remember the day I said, this is about to end, because you saw it. You know what I mean? I know I saw it, and there were 3 other people in the room, and we just looked at each other like, uh-oh, you know what I mean? And it was like, oh, okay, this is it. It was just, but those years that it was growing, when, you know, when he first got this, you know, I got at Daddy's house just as the dust was settling. I wasn't there at the very beginning, but I was there like within 8 months or 6. I think it was probably about 8 months after they had pretty much finalized everything, but there was still dust settling in the air. So I got in on a good point, and you could see it grow. You could see where things were going. You could see everybody around you had talent. Everybody around you had something to offer, and not many people that I can count on had their hand out saying, you know, yo, hook me up, you know, because if you were there, you were already hooked up.
Right.
And it was just as simple as us just doing work and proving yourself every day, proving yourself every song, every verse, if you're a rapper, every harmony, if you were a singer or a writer, every beat, if you were a producer. It was proving yourself. And it was a meritocracy, pretty much. If you were good and what you were doing was good, you got rewarded for it. It wasn't, oh, that's my man, I'm gonna hook him up, I'm gonna let him, you know, get this one this time, but, you know, he can't come back like that again. No, it's like, man, get that shit out of here. Like, this is garbage, this is trash. Everybody had a trash moment. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, but then, you know, the genius that Puff was, is that he would say, no, I don't want that. And then he would go with something else. But then he would go like 2 months later, 3 months later, yo, that track that you had that I didn't like for him, yo, dude, I want you to do that. And next thing you know, it's a #1 record. You know what I'm saying? So it was just understanding that you were with someone that had forethought, that had a vibe that you could not lie about. And we can crush whether he should have been a rapper, a producer, or anything. You cannot deny his desire to win. And that's one thing that, if you've never been around an uber, ultra, macro successful person, you don't understand. You just cannot understand. I mean, we fought over couches to sleep on when it was time to sleep. You know, like, nah, man, you had the couch last night. You got to sleep in the studio. Come on, man. You know? And this is his studio, so we fighting over couches to sleep on. And we literally slept in the studio we could sleep there for weeks. And that was a great vibe, just being in that moment. And, you know, nobody wanting to leave because of the magic that, you know, we felt good about what we were doing. And it was just a great place to be. The artist, I'm still close. I hate to say close, but still definitely in touch with a lot of the artists. You know, I'm not gonna say a lot, some, you know, or when we see each other, it's like, oh, remember that time in the studio? You know, because we spent so much time there. And the relationships that are there for me, have lasted 20-25 years. So and, you know, some I call, you know, now it's all social media, Instagram or whatever. You just hit them up, yo, what's going on? We can sit back and type, you know, for hours, you know, just going back and forth about stupid shit. But It's the fact that, you know, they accepted me as a brother. I accepted them, you know, and we had a good rapport, a good, you know, good thing going on. It was really good. When it was really, really good, it was really, really, really good. And it's hard to explain, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's just hard, you know, it's hard to explain. But it was definitely a good vibe. And like Berry Gordy and Motown, like explain that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you can explain that, then I should be able to explain with this. It was just so many talented people being directed by a talented person to get the outcomes that we had, and they were special. Not everything was a hit, but we had some special things going on.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, man. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, again, you cannot deny the magic, as you put it, that is Bad Boy Records. Like it just is. Now, I do have to ask this question, and I don't mean to anomalize this person, but he has become his own entity to an extent. Like his personality has become something. And I got to ask you, Stevie J. Like,
that's my brother. You love Stevie. I love Stevie. I love his kids. You know what I mean? Well, I mean his wife now. I totally love his wife.
Oh,
but,
of course.
I mean, that's Stevie. I mean, to see what everybody, I mean, we saw that every day. You know what I mean? It wasn't a surprise. We saw it every day. I mean, I remember the first day I met him, and it was just Stevie J. That's Stevie J. You know, I can't.
Right.
I'm not making excuses for the brother. You know, I mean, that's Stevie J. So, I mean, I mean, when it comes to that, I mean, that's secondary to his talent. His talent was always like off the charts. You know, he would just come and do something and to do something different, and just, you know, like, damn, you know. And, you know, again, everybody around had a talent in some way, shape, or form. And when they delivered, nobody is surprised, you know.
Right.
And for him to develop his persona and his character after the fact, to me, just kind of overshadows the talent that he was or is. He's still a gifted producer. He's still a gifted writer. He plays the guitar like nobody else. You know, I'm not gonna say the best guitar player is the best guitar player. To me is Jacques Johnson from DC, but that's, I mean, Oxon Hill, that's just me. That's right. Michelle's brother. But
yeah,
as far as the guitar player, he is a good guitar player. You know, he is a good producer. He makes good tracks and songs and stuff like that. And, you know, that's my brother, you know. Period.
Indeed.
I can laugh at him.
I think you
would love him crazy, and I love him, and I tell him I love him. Whenever we talk, he calls me Junior. I call him Junior. You know, that's my Junior. That's my little man. You know, little man, Junior. What's up? You know. So Steve, that, you know, even Steven. That's how we were. I mean, before he really came over to Bad Boy, we were, you know, he was with Chad Elliott, and Missy was working with Chad Elliott too. They all came from Devontae and the Basement Crew and everything. We could be at one of my mentors was Kevin Thomas, so I would follow Kevin around, and they would be wherever Chad was producing or whoever, and Missy would write. It would be the three of us sitting on the couch, broke as all outdoors. How much money you got? I got $3. How much money you got? I got $5. How much money you got? I got 50 cents. Put our money together. Let's go to McDonald's and we get a meal. You know, that's how we survived back then. It was on each other. We survived on each other, period. And that was a blessing. And, you know, it wasn't a lot of that. It wasn't a long time where we were starving. Missy, right after that, she did the Gina Thompson record. Next thing you know, she got 6 million. You know what I'm saying? Stevie J, two months after that, you know, he ended up getting, 3 #1 records. So it's like, things happen, and things happen to talented people if you sacrifice and you put yourself in the right position with the right people. So, brother is talented, will always be talented to me, and always my man, no matter what,
I got it. And it's funny just because, and I ain't even about to, air out stuff, but like I have a Stevie J story. I actually met him in LA. Within the first 3 weeks of me moving to LA, and we just met him at the club, and like we had a exchange. And it was hilarious to me because I was just like the way that it was like, wow, okay, yeah, I don't even know.
Stevie J, he doesn't try to pretend to be something he's not.
And I think it was great because he fed into what it is that everybody else perpetuated, and it was just like
the thing you'll learn being around Puff, and it's not for me because I'm not that's not me. You have to sell yourself. You have to use what you have to get what you want. As long as you're not, even if you're saying something bad about me in the media, guess what? You're saying something about me in the media. It's keeping my name alive. So the next thing I do will live off of that thing that you said.
Right.
So a lot of things that, as long as you were promoting him, he was good with it. So if others did the same thing, I'm not knocking anybody for their hustle. Definitely not knocking anybody for their hustle, especially not family. I mean, Stevie is my man and will always be.
I get it.
Period. He never treated me wrong. Put it that way.
And he didn't seem like it. He didn't seem like it. Like I said, when I met him, I was just like, really? Like, why is everybody be hating on him? Like, he see you like bad, cool, like bad, down to earth, and everything. Like, all the time.
But when you have a TV show and you can edit things, you can edit anything to make it look like something else. So don't believe what you see, and only believe. Don't believe anything you hear and believe only half of what you see, or so whatever that phrase is. Don't.
Yeah.
They called him Rat Face. He was always Rat Face. That was his I fucked up move. We whenever he got that look, oh, this motherfucker. But it's all love, Junior. It's all love. That's my man. I love him.
Love it.
And I'm happy for him. I'm happy he and my girl Faye are happy. That's the biggest thing. I'm happy for them being happy. Shocked I was, but happy.
You and the rest of the world, but that's the like you said, happiness is all that matters.
Hey, love shows itself a million ways, and if you find it, go for it.
Right. Who are your inspirations? I know you talked about people that you kind of shadowed, followed, but I mean, do you have any inspirations, whether or not they were in front of you or behind you? It's people that were your inspirations that inspired you to just keep doing your thing over the years.
First of all, my mom. My mother. I mean, if it wasn't for her, the joy of music that I have, I wouldn't have. I mean, she came up for Easter dinner and we just sat there and we sang songs, and it was Suzette's time. So I love when and we were watching the Isley versus Earth, Wind and Fire. So that was my house growing up, along with anything from Gladys Knight, Marvin Gaye, Reverend James Cleveland, Aretha Franklin, all of that stuff. So that put the joy of music in my ear, seeing her sing in the church choir, that was inspirational. You know what I'm saying? So, I would say my biggest inspiration and into music has been my mom, but without that, I had no clue what I'd be doing right now. Because she gave me that, because that's all I heard. She pounded that sound in my head, spinners, four tops, and
OJs.
Anything, all of that. The Philadelphia sound, the Motown sound. She even played a little bit of disco. She ain't gonna tell you she did, but she played some disco. So, and then, from that, and then living in the area that we lived in, we had always great music, from country to, punk rock, all that stuff that came from DC. Go-go came from DC. Punk rock came from DC. So it was a lot of origins that we were a part of that, you know, that felt good. And then it was such a blend of everything. So a lot of music. But as far as inspiration, my mom, my great grandmother, you know, she, you know, Gertrude Turner, she would just say, baby, I believe in you. And I know you're going to do something special with your life. That's the last conversation I had with her. You know what I mean? And I, you know, Granny was Granny was the best. Just, you know, just family in general. I can't. Mary Cole was my music teacher at Oxon Hill. Actually, all of my music teachers. Mary Cole, Mr. Brown at junior high school. What's her name? She got married. I can't. Miss Moore, but she got married. Her last name was something different. Going back to elementary school, Miss Ott. I remember every music teacher I ever had. You know, it was just because it was just something in me about music. And, you know, my grandmother and Marvin Gaye's mother were best friends. So it was like music was always around me in some way, shape, or form. And just every step along the way, everything. I mean, I want to say I take inspiration from everything. I can't say that there's one fire under my butt to make me do something. It's just, you know, it's just I'll find it, and it'll drive me to do something, to create something new or do something better. And most of that is definitely from my mom. So, you know, and family.
That's great, the story. And it's funny that you say, because I'm a Coley too. So it's funny that you say that, because I mean, I literally just had somebody on Sunday and was talking about, she's in Atlanta right now, killing it. And she's a Coley too. And just so, I mean, I've had other people on previously. So what does that make you, like Malika too?
Malika? Oh yeah, no, I was Malika too. Because the first Malika was Anthony Wellington, Del Marie Hines, Lori Williams, Kim. Oh my God, Kim Bergen, John Douglas. John Douglas and Kim are married. They live out in LA. Last time I was in LA, I saw them, and that was Malika 1. Then I was Malika 2, and that was Albert Ali, Kevin Andrews, Adira Mahdi, Caroline Benzon, Sean Davis, myself, Greg Camp. I mean, I can almost name everybody. Tim Butler. I can't think of the dude, white boy, to play guitar. I can't think of him, but you know, and a lot of, you know, that's just what we did, man. It was just a blessing. I mean, that was talent. You know, you talk about bad boy talent. I mean, the talent that we had, and really the musical talent we had in high school. We weren't even a music school.
Yeah. And
to me, that was some of the best talent I ever worked with. You know what I mean? Mary Cole took hood kids. Like, we were from Glass Manor, Dennis Grove, all these places in PG County, and she put us together, and we would go sing classical, and we would win, you know, adjudication championship for the state.
Yeah.
The state. You know, we were singing classical. My God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I mean, Mary Cole definitely is and she would kick your ass. So it was like, she would tell you that, you know, how bad your shit stunk immediately. When it came out your mouth, she would let you know. And, you know, for some people, it was great. For other people, they, you know, maybe didn't take it well, or maybe she was worse or harder on them than I know she was hard on the girls. I've had this discussion with one of my bandmates that she was really hard on the girls. This was 20 years after. So I get it. I understand. But for me, it was a major inspiration, along with the football coach, Coach Pearson. You know, he kicked my butt, cut me a couple times too, but, you know, he kicked my butt. And, you know, I saw him at a friend's funeral when my high school quarterback, Joe, his pops passed. He was at the funeral, and I actually said, thank you, man. You know, I mean, I knew he couldn't stand me, but I said, thank you, you know, because if it wasn't for that motivation to make me, because there were some things said, you know, that's between us, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But, you know, but Miss Cole told me what was said. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I know where I stand. I got it. But that made me rethink my situation. You know, that made me refocus, replant, you know, re-gauge my future. and that was a pivotal moment for me. Was that day in my choir room. So it was great. Miss Mary Cole, come on, man. And Anthony Wellington, he's the best bass player on the planet. So, and then Michelle Ndeocello, she was in my band, and it was.
He's amazing.
Come on, man. I mean, my high school band, I'll put it against anybody. I'm sorry. I don't think we had the best singers. We weren't the best singers. Like Earl was good, Matthew was good. I mean, I was shaky. I was just there. I'm Ronnie. I could do the dance steps. Ronnie, I'm playing, bro. Ron D, you're still my man. I'm just saying it. Y'all said it in the movie. No, but Mary Cole, she really gave me. I mean, the stuff she says sticks in my head. I mean, I can't forget most of the things she said as far as focus and stuff like that. So, but come on, man.
It's funny. Like I said, here I stand, and it's like I said, years later, I forgot. I'm pretty sure we had that conversation before, but like I said, I forgot. And here you are, Malika 2, and I'm Malika 3. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that the same exact thing that you said. I've had many of my Malika 3 member either on the beat or Two Flew West, and they can say the same exact things. Even talked about Michelle, talked about Anthony, talked about some of the other people in the previous Malikas, and it's awesome. It's just awesome to be a part of the program.
Yeah, really. See, but there was a band on my street on Glass Manor Drive called Hot Property. They practiced at the Quarterman's house. Parrish Quarterman was the drummer. John Douglas, Kim Bergen. I can't remember anybody else that was singing, but I know them two were in there singing. And we used to stand outside on Glass Manor Drive when they would practice and listen to the music. And outside singing the records with them, doing dance steps and stuff, just, doing it just because we, for some reason, we all, and, a couple of other guys on Glass Manor Drive are in entertainment, movies, or still in bands and stuff like that, still doing music. So it was just something about what we did on that street. It was a very musical place to be. And I'm not saying we were the best street in the world as far as music, but we were pretty damn close. I mean, just the amount of talent that came from that neighborhood to me was just mind-boggling, And it was, Queens, people in New York, they say, oh, well, so we had so many come from Queens, or, Brooklyn, we had Brooklyn, and Harlem, we had all these. Glass Manor Drive was a drive, a street. Not a city, it's a street. And there was across the street, Anthony Wellington, up there at the Quartermans. I can't remember little Mickey. One of the best drummers I've heard in my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on, man. My street was banging.
I really want to. At a later date, I want to pick your brain. I have an idea that I've actually been kicking around with some of the people who might. I want to run it by you if you're willing for that. Seriously, it's a very serious idea, and it's something I think it would be the takeoff point of it is ridiculous. The angle is just crazy, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, so let's get back to you, man. Current aspirations, projects. Like, what are you currently working on? I mean, you've worn so many hats. You've been successful at most of the hats that you wear, if not all of them. And I'm just saying. I mean, you are who you are. And it is what it is. Like, again, I don't know everything that you've done, but it seems pretty damn evident. Everything you've done very well at. So, what are you currently working on? As aspiring for, and what are your current projects?
Well, now actually, as soon as I finish this, I got to finish curriculum for a music production class that I start with the Grammy Museum of Newark on next week. I think I got about 30 students, so I'm doing that. And I also work with I'm in a mentorship program. We call it creative coaching. It's a mentorship program with New Jersey Performing Arts Center, where I have 3 mentees that I just try to help them with. I started off just helping them with everyday life, understanding parents being a Black man in America and navigating through their endeavors of life. And my next, you know, we took the week off, so our next session where we're gonna start focusing on their musical things, you know, what they want to do musically. And they're all in 3 different areas of music. One is in trap, one is in like anime music, and another one is into gaming music. So which is gaming and anime kind of cross paths a lot, and trap. So it's all, I guess it's all the same. But that's one thing. Talked to a couple other people about doing a website platform. My man Busy Works at Busy Works Beats, we've been talking about doing a couple things, but you know, we're still working that out. Also have, you know, and that's because I like to educate, and it's more of me making sure people have a better platform than I did when I started. I had to work hard to find opportunities and platforms to learn from. We did not have the internet when I started. So just being able to put positive stuff out and not, you know, come get Pop Smoke's vocal chain, and you know, you can do this, and you can, come on, man, teach people how to use tools. You know, it's I'm sorry, I'll go off on that tangent too, but I just want to make sure that, you know, people understand what they're getting into, especially when it comes to the business side of things. You know, the business side is more important than actually the creative. Anybody can create. It's just, you know, putting it together so that it sounds good. But business, you do one bad deal, you're pretty much stuck for life. You know, so it's like trying to avoid, or helping people avoid those pitfalls. I mean, I was lucky to have great lawyers around me and people who understood business. From my first contract when I was in DC, I'm not gonna say who it was from, but it was a major New York producer. But what's his name? Riddick. What was Riddick Bowe's manager's name? Can't think of his name right now.
I already talk about though.
But his wife at the time, I don't know if they're still my wife, Emma, she was the first person to coach me up on business, and this was in the 80s. So it's just having good people around in my corner to tell me what not to do. My lawyer Ed Wood passed a few years ago, so Ed Woods kept me out of a lot of trouble and got me a lot of business. So big shouts out to Ed and his family, you know, because he was definitely a positive person in my life and never charged me a dime. I know his wife might be listening, but he never charged me. So, but you know, a lot of good lawyers, Matt Middleton, James McMillan. I mean, I can go on about lawyers, but business, I just want to, I'm not a lawyer, but I want to just school people on the basics of understanding what to look for, what not to do, or how to conduct yourself when you're going into a negotiation, things like that. Just, and, you know, understanding, you know, the basics of the music industry. So that's one of my classes. Another thing, we just partnered with a guy in not too far from my house in Jersey, in Marlboro, New Jersey, studio to stage productions. We have a full-size studio, and very rare for our area. And we have music classes, music lessons, and actually this week we're starting podcasting. We have a big artist that wants to do a podcast out of our building because he lives up the street, and you know, he's an actor with a lot of credits, and everybody's gonna know who he is when we start. I just can't put it out there yet because we didn't the deal isn't inked yet, but it's, you know, going to do podcasting. We're going to turn some of our writers' rooms into podcast rooms. So it's, you know, it's moving. So a lot of different things, a lot, you know, working. I got a couple videos and TV show things that I've been discussing with people. So just trying to get it out. One of my partners is a great music producer, but he, you know, he's into film. He has Blurred Film Productions, and you know, we're developing a few things. So just what, you know, COVID took me out of, you know, get up, go to work, get on the train, go to work, go home. You know, it took me out of that, where I'm back into a creative mind. You know, I just did music when I could do it. You know, after a while, you know, you grow up, you grow old. I don't need to be in a room with a bunch of trap artists, you know, screaming and, you know, doing all that stuff. So I chose to get out. You know, my son is on the autism spectrum. He needed me at home, so I got out. But you know, COVID has put me back into a, creative, productive, musical direction. And I hate to say it, but I love the fact that I was able to do it. Not the reason why I was able to do it, but the fact that, I was back to who I'm supposed to be, who I am. So, there's nothing wrong with corporate AV. Corporate AV was very lucrative. There was a lot of work. Sometimes it was terrible, but most times it was easy, especially if you're in the management role and you have union employees. So it was great for me. And I wouldn't mind getting back to it. But at the studio, we'll probably start a professional AV spot there because I have the knowledge. And I can teach people to do it. I got a lot of good techs around me that I know, so it's one more business venture. Why not?
Forward thinking, man. That's what again.
The day you start planning for the future is the day you're going to start planning to die. So just you got a choice. Not that everything that I'm thinking of is going to work. I'm not expecting it to, but if I put 20 eggs in a basket and I drop the basket, some of them are going to survive, so I'm okay. I'm okay with putting all my eggs in the basket because I know something's going to survive if I drop it. If a dump truck hit it, that's a whole nother story. But
well, listen, like I said, I thank you for sharing a wealth of information there. And I wish you the best on all of those things, dude. Like, again, I aspire to move how you move. I just love it, and honestly, I never really quite understood it until this conversation. Because again, a lot of the calmness that I've learned, or the understanding about how to engage in scenarios and situations, however cliche as it sounds, through the being the cold program and all of the other stuff, it really just I see it in you, and it's just like, yeah, I mean. Yes, it's kind of like I understand it. So
I mean, my problem is I can't front. You know what I mean? I don't know how to.
It's like why?
I don't. I mean, I know a lot of people who came and they from my area. They came up here and they did stuff and they fronted. And I'm like, yo, man, I got the same friends I've always had. Like I said, me and Marlon been partners for 30 years. We lost contact for a few years. He went through his stuff. I went through mine, but we talk every day like we've been talking. So it's when I go home to Glass Manor, I mean my same friends. Like last time I went home, I went to my man's crib, sitting there with him and his mom talking like we was talking back in the early 90s, joning on each other. It was, mom and dad joning on us, we joning on them, man. I mean, it's like I got the same friends, nothing is different. It's me. I want to be able to come back home and go to somebody's house, sitting there. Like I might be coming home tomorrow, and I'm going to my man, the DJ Dynamite's house. We sit in the basement and work on music. This is what we do. I'm not. Oh, I'm Steve Dent and no to get me. No, I don't do that, man. First, my friends would kick my ass, so it's like I can't front. I'm not going home and I don't drive a. Shoot, my friends got better cars than me. I'm not gonna. How am I going to front? Right. I'm not. Come on, man. It's I can go back to my neighborhoods and be okay, and not have to. Well, not Berry Farms and definitely not Paradise. Sorry. So far removed from that. No disrespect to y'all. Now I'm just telling you, I'm cool. You can beat me on 295 if you want to see.
Trust me, I get it. I got areas of bad juju myself, so I totally understand where you come from.
Yeah, I mean, we had to always guard your grill, knuckle up, keep your head on the swivel, watch your back, and nothing has changed. That surviving that made me survive in Brownsville, Harlem, the Bronx, all the stuff that I had to go through. I mean, I used to sleep on trains, man. Like, yeah, it was just, just whatever. It in DC, Southeast, Northeast, Northwest, PG County, that also, prepared me to deal with what I had to deal with up here. It's just a different level up here. So, I'm still from DC. I'm still a Washington football team fan, still a Caps fan, You know, we didn't have a baseball team when we left, so I adopted the Mets. I'm sorry, DC, but you know, I come home, sit on my mom's porch, eat sunflower seeds, just like I would do any other time. I mean, I'm the same dude, man. At least I think I am. You know, I might have changed a little bit. You know, got some more Adidas, but that's all my story.
Now you mentioned everybody but the Wizards. You're a Wizard fan too?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't mention them because they don't count no more. I mean, like, come on, get good, man, get good. I'll support. I mean, I got Wizards hats and everything, but that's a horse. Look, if they get to the play, if we get to the playoffs and they got a shot, oh, you're gonna see me in all, you know, everything. 80, after what 100? What they play? 82 games. I know it was short this year, but 82 games, man. Talk to me at 60 games. After 60 games, I'll see where they are. If they're not in contention by the All-Star break, I don't pay no attention. I don't watch no basketball till after the All-Star break. If they in contention, I'll watch them. If not, I'll watch whatever's the best game on.
I'm 1,000% with your vibe. Trust.
Football, my team, we're gonna do something this year.
Oh yeah, they got.
Oh no, we say that every. No, we're not. We're gonna be okay. Let's just leave it at that. We're gonna be okay.
They got all the right pieces, right? Except
we got good pieces, not all the right. We got good pieces.
But defense is a good place to start, though.
Defense is great. We still need a safety. I wasn't sure about my man that came from the Giants. Can't think of his name. Collins. I mean, he was a liability for the Giants. He's a liability for us. I'm sorry. My nephew played on the team. Fabian Moreau. He played at UCLA with my nephew Justin. So, you know, I was going a lot to the games and stuff like that. So it was, you know, it was cool. My son got to see, you know, a lot of good players. I ain't gonna talk about, you know, Chase. He's close to the fam. Let's just put it that way. But you know, that is not my business to put out there. But it's you know, my son got to take pictures with his mom and all that stuff. So he, you know, he sent us T-shirts and stuff like that. So we got young Chase on the team, and you know, I think we're gonna be okay. It's just, you know, what the offense gonna look like with Fitz tragic or magic. I don't know. What are they going to do? Well, you know, if we don't draft a tackle, we need another guard. Oh, we can see now this turned into a sports show.
Oh no, you don't understand. I want to bring you definitely back if you got time for it, to talk specifically about that.
Man, we want to talk about look. Let's start a whole Washington sports show. Then we talk.
Hold up. See, listen. I just seen something today that the football team is looking for that kind of deal. So I'm just saying,
let's do it. I got people in like I Kill You. That was my man. Like that, like from way back when he played with the Giants. Like he was a wide receiver coach.
Yeah,
like, man, he gave my son a tour of Redskin. You know, headquarters. My boy Omar Stoudemire, when he played, you know, we were there all the time. LeVar Arrington, that's my man. You know,
he's one of the
all the RC was my man. I ate dinner with Chantel, all that stuff, man. You know, Antonio Pierce, that's fam. You know what I mean? So I can talk Redskins. Oh, my bad, football team.
I'm with you. What he said.
I can talk that.
Yeah, I know we like I said, I'm gonna pull you. We gonna have a conversation about that for sure. But let's try to wrap this up because I don't get.
Yeah, I mean, I know we got off topic. I mean, I got time. No. If you got time, I'll answer the questions. I'm cool.
Oh well,
say no
more.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm definitely a huge football team fan. Huge. If it's DMV sports, I am a huge fan. So that's a whole. But again, we
DC United. I almost got their colors on right now, but this is Germany. But not gonna put it out there. But yeah, DC United soccer. I'm into soccer too. So all of that, you know. Even man, when we had the DC, what was that? United, not the United.
The Castles.
No. What was the UXFL or XFL team?
Oh,
Defenders.
Was it the Defenders?
Yeah, it was the Defenders.
Okay.
AAF. I forgot which one, but defend man, please. I'm all DC except baseball. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a Nats fan. And, you know, we got the the championship a couple years ago. So hopefully, if they can make it out of COVID, then they might have a shot this year too.
All right, what's next? What's next?
This is my favorite portion of the show. It's called Hot Topics. These are random questions designed to get people to understand who you are through these random questions that I ask you. So we're gonna fire through these real quick, and we get back to some very, hard nugget conversations real quick. So first question in the hot topic is 3 things you didn't know. What is 3 things that you feel that the world does not know about Stephen Dent, and or 3 things you want to clarify to the world about Stephen Dent?
Damn. 3 things they didn't know about me. I'm a golfer. I golf. My golf crew is the Original T golf club and golf classic. We do a tournament every year, but not last year and probably not this year. A lot of celebrities in it. Alonzo Mourning, Anthony Anderson, a lot of people. And I can shout out to Wendell Haskins. He's the commissioner. Don't know about me. I listen to Yacht Rock on Sirius XM.
Okay.
Do not know about me.
That's 2 though. So you only got 1 more.
I mean, I don't know what's worthy to talk about. I'm addicted to Adidas. I don't know. But everybody know that. I mean, it's all aware.
Well, I didn't know that, so there you go.
That's 3 things you didn't know. All right.
All right. Indeed. Good to know. Netflix, what's on your visual playlist, brother? Like any movies or TV shows? It doesn't have to be Netflix. It could be Hulu, Amazon.
I'm a Walking Dead fan, but it kind of turned left a couple seasons ago, but I'm still trying to hang in there. I just watched the Gangs of London. That first show was pretty damn good. I don't really watch a lot more TV. I watch Ancient Aliens and How the Universe Works. Really,
seriously,
that's it. Like I don't really watch a lot of TV. I mean, sports shows, of course,
Right. Shout out first.
All talk that, and Shannon and Skip.
Yeah. Okay.
Them dudes, man. That clarify anything? Clarification. The Grammy for No Way Out, PD and the Family, that was before they were giving Grammys to engineers for rap. The Mace was for engineering, and I would have gotten it if they didn't give it to Jay-Z for a makeup call for the year before, which they fucked up. We should have got that. There was no better album, 98, than Mace's Harlem World album. Every song off there was pretty much a single. We had 15 videos, remix of video. I mean, that album cleaned up, and it should have won. And also Shake Your Tail Feather, they didn't give it to the engineer for recording, but I got plaques for No Way Out, Harlem World. I mean, the Grammy plaque saying that, yes, you have a Grammy award, but that was before they were giving it to us. And Shake Your Tail Feather, but I never got an award. But I can go to Puff's house and sit beside him and front like it's mine, but I don't do that. But that's the clarification. So I am on Grammy award winning projects. Yes. Did I get them? Oh, I got a plaque. That's all they sent me. Stephen Dent, in recognition of your participation as engineer on the Grammy award winning. Come on, man. Give me the damn thing. I mean, I never put that much weight on Grammys after Milli Vanilli won. I'm sorry. I can go back there. Shout out to my man Bill Petaway who wrote that song. Girl, you know it's true, but that's another story.
I believe you got way more Grammy recognition than I got by a long shot. So I'm just like, oh my God.
I mean, when it comes down to it, man, it's about the work, man. I don't if I didn't have none of this, but I was able to work for 20 something years doing what I love, it wouldn't have mattered to me. I was never clout chasing or chasing I mean, I guess somebody can say easy for you to say, I got lucky, man. Like I mean, blessed to be in a position, and somebody who did not like me at all in school and I did not like called me and asked me if I wanted a job working with Bad Boy. You make that up. That's some Forrest Gump story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just incredible that that took me, you know, to this day that I'm still. I mean, I don't do a lot of work with. Actually, I don't do any work with Buff, but that's still family. You know what I mean? And it's you know, the family, we go down to Miami or LA for Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays. You know, his daughters was just here with my son, so it, you know, that was it's family. So it's, you know, he took me to, you know, that person took me to a place where my life changed and I found my wife. We have a son. You know, so that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I can, and recently until Clubhouse, I had not seen this dude. I hadn't heard his voice since that day. No, maybe I think I saw him on MySpace, once on MySpace. And I said something to him, but he never replied to me. So this time on Clubhouse, like another friend of mine, Hans, knew him. And when I told my story, I think I was speaking about something on Clubhouse. And he said, "Oh man, that's my boy. I haven't seen him in years." Oh, then he called him, and then he called me. His name's Colin. And we talked probably like 3-4 hours just talking about, you know, and I think I'm saying, man, thanks for changing my life. Thanks for, you know, you know, just, I mean, what can I say? You know, I could never repay him. There's nothing I could give him that would equal that.
Right.
You know, what he did for me. And he did not like me at all. He just thought I could do a better job than anybody else that he went to school with.
That's the man, like you said, that's the unicorn right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's listening. You don't know who's putting you in their mental Rolodex for that time they need you. And they go, "Oh, I know who can do it." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of which, like I said, you have been through a lot with the industry. You've seen it change. You've seen it flip. You've seen it roll over, you know, do the death roll several times and drag people under and so forth and so on. You've seen it emerge as something brand new multiple times. What is your thoughts on today's entertainment industry?
I you know what? I've never thought about it. Even then, I never thought about the industry. I only thought about business. The business is different because the way music is delivered is different. So there's a lot of money where there was no money before because there was no platform. And then that has taken place of sales of physical copies. So there's a different way of monetization going on. And there's a different way of awards, like when they give out the plaques and stuff, it's different from, I mean, it's 7 million copies, 4 million copies, that's 1 million copy, 10 million copies, million, another million, and I don't even know how many those are. Now it's 300,000 spins or 300,000 scans, 500,000 scans. Nobody owns the music anymore. So you own the right to hear it because you're paying for a service, but you don't own the music. Download it if you can, and it's on your phone. But as soon as you stop paying for that service, you don't have the music anymore. So you don't own it. It's different ways to make money. So you have to make sure you're involved in those revenue streams and make sure you pay. It's more business driven. You have to understand the bottom line to everything now, more so than you did before. Before, you would have been better off understanding it, but you still would have succeeded, made money, and not even worried about the money that somebody stole from you or you missed on the plate, because your plate would have been still running over. Today, you have to make sure that, okay, I got streaming money, I got merch money, I got sync money, I got this money, I got this money. You know, like you have to pay attention to a lot of that. And if you're just thinking that, oh, I'm going to make a record, put it out, or I'm going to make a mixtape and put it out for free, and I'm going to get famous, and then it's going to be,
Yeah.
you know, that don't work. That don't work. If you're not understanding what TikTok is, if you don't understand what all of these social platforms are doing, you can be ass terrible. Somebody make a dance about it on TikTok, you made $10 million.
Right.
So it's more about sensation and talent. It's been changing since, you know, I saw somebody, you know, if they let ugly people make records, music industry would be in a better place. But as soon as, you know, the LTDs and all of them dudes stopped making records, and they went for the, you know, the cute, sexy, it, you know, it changed. It wasn't about talent. It was all about visual information. It had nothing to do with, you know, musical information or stimulating information. Not to say that there has not been great artists. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a more visual thing than it was before. I mean, you still had sexy artists back then with chest hairs hanging out, all that stuff, but it's definitely changed to, it's all about the cute, young, and sexy. And again, ain't nothing wrong with that. But just understanding how to navigate in this business, it's you better do it or you don't get in. So and it's more avenues. There's more resources. We didn't have the internet when we started, or the internet was very seldomly used in 1995. What was it? 95, 96? I'll say 96, 97, 98. Internet was just new, you know, Netscape. We were on Netscape. And we weren't using it. We still had to take hard copies to places, you know, emails wouldn't go through. You only had 256 megabytes of memory on your computer. So you couldn't even save a song. There was no digital workstations. No, there was sound toys, but that's a whole nother story. Cubase I guess Cubase was a DAW. Steinberg, okay, all of that stuff. Yeah, I guess it was Steinberg. Okay, yeah, I'm lying. But
it was new. It was new.
Yeah, well, that's how we recorded some of our first stuff. Like me and Marlon, when he was gangster host and I was the DJ, like we recorded all our stuff on Cubase. That was, you know, we used to go to my man Herb's cousin's house, Skip, and we did, you know, a whole project on Cubase. But it is more avenues. Before you only had 5 streets you could go down. Those were the majors. Now you have 5,000 streets to go down, and nobody knows which one is going to be the one, except TikTok, that somebody's going to find that thing and go, oh, I like this. And if the right person, let's say Beyonce, hears a record and she go, oh, that's kind of hot. It's probably been out there for a year without anybody noticing it, but she heard it because it just came on a random playlist that she listens to, and she tweets it out, or she does a TikTok dance on it. 10 million. You know what I mean? So it's more of that going on than, and I hate to say then, good music. There's just as much good music out there. You just have to work harder to find it, because there's so many places you can find it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just too many places you can find it. I don't subscribe to any of the services. Oh, I don't know. That's going to be one of your questions coming up, right? I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Let me ask you one last very serious question. How do you feel you have paved the way for young African Americans?
Being in a position of business and respect, and not wearing my pants down below my asshole, not having gold fronts, not using the English language in any way. Well, I guess I still talk. I'm from DC, so we got our own. Sorry, we do. But just being positive about, you know, business and society. And when I'm teaching, I showed up a certain way. I talked to them a certain way. And trying to give a, more or less, it was just for my son. My son seeing me waking up, putting on a shirt and tie, going to work, even when, teaching, or sometimes even just going to the studio. It's just good to, and taking him along with me to the studio so he can see things that I do. He grew up in the studio, so but just being a positive influence and not showing them that there's a different way than coming from, because most people, when you talk to me and when you hear where I come from, you won't believe it. You don't believe it. You can't believe it, because Berry Farms didn't grow in me. You know what I mean? Right. That the Southeast mentality didn't. It's there. Don't get it twisted, but it didn't grow in me. You know what I mean? So I had other things to do. I didn't let that become my reality. I didn't let Paradise become my reality. I didn't let Glass Manor become my reality. I didn't let these things hold me down. And then when I talk to them, like my mentee, one of my mentees, I was telling them, just about, my father and what I went through with my father. We were talking about parents and how their parents didn't understand what they were going through. And then I told them how I treat my son, but how my father treated me and my sister. And that, one day after the session, he just said, man, thank you. I would have never believed that you had come from the similar situation that I've come from, that I'm in now. I know that there's another way. And exact words, he said, I know there's another way now that I saw you doing it, now that I saw that you had done it. And that, that's powerful to me. And just trying to help as much as I can. And then especially like where I'm on Clubhouse a lot. I think I've been ODing on Clubhouse, and just being able to help others, black, white, and whatever. It doesn't matter to me when it comes to that. Just giving them a different spin on how I, just the way I see how I take my job and what I do. Not getting them to do anything my way, but just getting them to understand that there's always a different way. And that, I think that's more powerful than anything else, is to get people to see that there's a different way. And no matter who says what, there's always a different way. But as far as our people, just trying to be positive and, guide them to make better decisions, even no matter what situation they're in, just make a better decision. I mean, where we're from, so anything could have happened any night that we were out all the time. I just happen to be faster than most, although I'm slow. I'm just fast of thinking. Oh, this is going down. Boom. When them spidey senses start tingling on the back of your neck, out, and it just, just understanding the situation, and don't put yourself in a situation where something could go wrong, because it could always go wrong anywhere. So when you put yourself in a more volatile situation, things will go wrong fast, so right. Those are, a few things that I could go on about that, because I love teaching, and the mentorship really means a lot to me, especially with the 3 kids I have. They're remarkable in their own right, and I'm hopefully making a positive impact on their thinking, just their thinking process, put it that way, their thinking process.
I love it. All great answers and very thorough, first of all. So you got to respect that. I do have to chime in though. Like my thing, and again, maybe it's an area thing that, like I tell my girlfriend, like, hey, listen, if I tell you to just go to the car, just go to the car. You know what I mean? Like just go to, we'll talk about it in the car, go to the car. And literally, my entire life, it's been like that. Like you said, it's a Spidey says, it's like, something like that. And I always got to sleep. I always got to sit. Like if we go to a restaurant, I got to see who's coming in and out. Can't sit with my back to the door. It's just, I don't know. I always thought it was like a me thing.
No, it's from where we are. I mean, I mean, the door thing is cool. I'm over that because again, I'll feel it. You know, it'll some. I feel something going. I mean, don't know how many times I got out of that, especially being back there. You know, I used to roll. You know, bowl down at what was that bowling alley off of 290 Kenilworth Avenue.
Oh, you talking about the John?
Yeah, man. That week before they, huh?
Rinaldi's.
Yeah, but I can't think of the name of what it was called. But anyway, man, I used to bowl down there, man. We used to bet hundreds. I used to make a living bowling, taking money from drug dealers bowling. But
Yeah.
I knew when it was time to leave,
Right.
and I left. The next week, I ain't come back. You know, I would have won probably like another. I ain't gonna say how much I was winning because that's probably taxable. But but you know, they shot up the place after that. I was like, okay, I ain't going back there. So you know, it's just understanding the situation you're in. You know, same things up here happen up here in the Bronx, knowing when to leave somewhere just because something, you know, I just had that vibe, knowing when to get out of the neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Right.
You know, in the middle of a shootout, like, okay, if you move, you're gonna get shot. So you just stand still. Let them shoot around you. You know,
Right.
just certain things, just you know, just understanding where you are in the moment and always understanding where to go to get out of your situation and when to get out of the situation.
Forward thinking.
Oh no, I mean that's a wrap. I'm thinking now. Somebody come through my sunroof right here. I mean my skylight right here. I know I'm gonna throw my drum machine at them and keep it going. You know, I mean that was growing up and you know where we grew up from. It was always, you know, look at everything.
Right.
And you know where everything is. And we got chased by gang. I remember when Gangster Chronicles and all them was out there, man. We were break dancers. Come on, man. We got chased. We had a big fight in the Landsberg building, man. Come on. That was epic. So I mean, it's a lot, man. We just had a lot to deal with back then. You know, not that any other neighborhood. I mean, it was definitely better than South Central. It was better than Compton. You know what I mean? Better than growing up down in, you know, the sticks in Miami.
Right.
You know, whatever the neighborhood, Little Haiti and all that stuff is better than that. But hey, you know, we weren't living in lap of luxury.
Yeah, by any stretch of the imagination, for sure, for sure. Last two questions.
Yes, sir.
Any advice for aspiring talent?
Know the business. Know and understand the business first and foremost. Forget your talent. Everybody's talented. I can walk down the street and buy 10 talented people for a penny. Like talent is nothing without understanding the business. And don't think that you're going to make it on your talent alone. It's not going to happen. Not now. There's too many avenues, too many people. And it's anybody can make music. I mean, they got computers now making music for people. They're downloading stuff off the internet, just doing anything. And anybody's talent. And talent is only what other people like. You know what I mean? So it could be the most amusical, arrhythmic, offbeat key vibe and everything. But if somebody likes it, that's talent. You know what I mean? So understand the business, and even people with no talent can survive the business for a long time just by knowing the music business. Understand the industry, because you have to survive in the industry. So that the industry is political. It's understanding relationships. Business is business, understanding what you're worth and knowing what you create is yours until you give it away. Yeah.
And there it is. That's the meat and potatoes of everything.
And nobody can steal anything from you. You have to give it away. So if you decide to give it away, that's your fault. But if you don't know that it's yours, you gave it away.
How can people learn more about you?
Oh man, I mean, I just recently let my Instagram go public. So I mean, I got a lot of on there asking me a bunch of questions. I mean, that's it. I don't have any other websites or anything that I'm doing. I'm not public figure, as they say. I don't have a green check mark. I'm not looking for it. You know, I am who I am, is in like Dent at Instagram. But that's it. I mean, I'm Steven's dad, Keisha's husband. You know, that's who I am. I'm not anybody special. I'm not looking to capitalize on anything. If you need me for a job, you got to pay me. You know, if you need some advice and I can help you, I'll try to help you. But you know, when you start getting into, you know, what color of shirt should I wear, I'm gonna have to charge you.
Right.
If you just need a couple little hints here and there, you know, I'm you know, my students from when I taught at IAR, and they went out of business in 2017. I think 2017, and or 18, one of the two. I still have my students call. You know, they call me all the time. I talk to my students a lot on Instagram and even Facebook, and I love the fact that they still need knowledge, and they're asking me. Like I you know, sometimes I turn to them and say, hey, what plugins you using? What was that setting that you did on this? And to see, you know, my biggest success is seeing their success. That's what really drives me. Take all this off the wall. Take it. I don't need it. I need the feeling that I help somebody's life. That's paramount to me. If I just help you make 1 second of thought to make your life better, that's more important to me than any of this stuff. Any of it. Like it doesn't matter. I just recently put this up, like for real. I really did, because it didn't matter to me. Right. It's not who I am. It looks good on Instagram, I guess, but you know, I don't, you know, it didn't. I would put my son's hockey game up before I put this stuff up. You know, it doesn't matter to me. Those moments that I had doing this, you can't take it out of my head. So I don't need that to remind me. You know, I don't need to see this is beat. What do they call it? Capping. I got my Biggie plaque right here. I got my Mace plaque right here. You see that. It's because I still hear Biggie's laugh in my head. You know, that's important to me. I still hear the first time Styles P spit on the microphone at Daddy's house. I still remember me and Mace having fights because he wasn't on time. and 50 Cent, you know, I still, like, that stuff is in my head. Like, you can't, you know, this means nothing. And the value I put on people succeeding, or I want everybody that I work with or taught to be way better than me. I never thought I was good. So I want them to be way better than me. I want them to succeed. I want them to triple everything I've done. That means more to me than anything. It's just seeing others succeed that I could help. And not that I'm saying, yeah, well, I made him. I did this one. No, I would never say that. But it's those times, you know. I could tell stories. If you had like 3 more hours, I'd tell stories. But my you know, just one. No, I'm not even gonna tell that. But I'm very proud of Alexis Seaton. She, you know, she's made me proud. I feel like a dad. And she, you know, I think she just bought her 3rd house, and she was my assistant for a while at Daddy's house. And she did a lot in her life, and she has come like that. There's no better story to me than her, you know. But I have like all my students that I see that are doing things and building their own studios and working, even if they're working a corporate job, you know, I'm proud of them because I knew where they came from. I saw the growth. I saw where they could have been, meaning if they did not turn right, they were going to end up on this left dead end street. They didn't. They listened, they turned around, and they went forward. That's what makes me happy. Even I had one student in school who was he was heading for jail. I didn't think he was going to get out of my class because I was going to kill him. He ended up graduating and being, I forgot what he's doing now, but he's doing something somewhere, and he is, you know, I'm proud of him. I wish I could call him and tell him. I don't have his information, but, you know, I'm proud of that, the fact that he got his shit together and is positive. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like that means more than anything else. All this other stuff you can have it. I don't care about celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. Never have been. I know them. I'm not. I'm invisible. I like when people say, "Well, who is he? He's nobody." Yeah, get out of here. I'm like, yes. Because Big said it, bad boys move in silence and violence. No, let me stop. But you know, and you're doing the show, man. Come on, man. I love it. I love the fact that people are doing things and living their dream and not having to sell their soul for dumb shit. You know, it's like it's not worth it. It's just do the best you can, man, and be positive. So that's what I try to be. And for my son, I just want to be dad, you know.
Right.
See him play hockey and do his thing.
Right.
Oh, else I didn't know about my son is a hockey player. Haha.
That's awesome. What position does he play?
I mean, he's just at the beginning. He has a lot of catching up to do because he, you know, some of them little kids, like Ovi's son, he was on skates and he wasn't even 1 year old. He couldn't even walk. He was skating. So I'm not gonna say just Russians. I'm just gonna say hockey players on skates. They're born with ice skates. He didn't start until he was 9. So,
right.
But the program he was in, they said he's one of the best and most improved, and they're happy for him the way he's developing. So it's just getting COVID kind of put a whole kibosh on that. So, and we're not going to put him out there. Although we already had COVID, we went through COVID, but it's we're not ready to let him out to the youth sports arena anytime soon until, you know, everyone is at least herd immunity takes over.
Right.
So.
Well, hey man, I wish him the best. I already know what time it is, and I know, you know, the effort and just the loving nature that, you know, that you embody, and I'm sure that family vibe is gonna push him exactly where he needs to go. You know, I celebrate you, brother. Like you're a champion, man. You know, I appreciate it. That, you know, you taking the time to conversate. But again, I mean, I learned so much from you just having conversations with you in my living room back in the day. You know what I mean? And now you talk about humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? But you know, to come back, like you said, almost 20 years later, have full circle conversation and still feel like I'm sitting at home in my living room. It's epic to me, you know what I mean? And you definitely changed lives, and I appreciate you and I celebrate you, man. Seriously, and all of that you put in and still do, because like you said, it's not about accolades; it's about the legacy that you leave behind. You know what I mean? And how people attach themselves to that legacy or glean information from it. So, you know, I appreciate you, but definitely hang on after this real quick. I just want to run some more things by you really quickly. It ain't gonna be too long, but like I said, I appreciate you, man. Do you got any last words before we out of here?
Nah, just stay positive and you know, believe in yourself. Quick story. I had a client call me tonight about his family not believing in his dream, and I just said, dude, who wants to believe in your dream? They've all had dreams that they failed at, or they all have dreams that they didn't live out fully because of whatever. It doesn't matter. Don't let anybody stop your dream. Like, believe in yourself, develop, practice, be honest with yourself, and go forward. So don't let anybody put the shit on your dream. You know, keep it moving. And don't, you know, when you get to where you want to go, don't celebrate in their face. Just go, hey, I made it, you know, and that's it. You know, keep it going. Be positive. Keep it positive.
As Ron Burgundy once said, keep it classy, San Diego. But no, those are definitely words to live by. I try to employ those myself. I guess maybe I got them from you. You know, but I definitely try to live that life. But I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the nuggets of wisdom, man. And like I said, just hang on tight real quick. Again, listen, guys, we got a pretty full plate coming up. I have Elise Hamilton this Thursday. Shout out to her for her. We're gonna debut her short film, Odd Job. She wrote it starred in it, produced it herself. She's coming in this Thursday. I have Gus Cameo. He's one of the top 5 real estate agents in, or luxury real estate agents in Ghana. He's going to be in on Sunday. P Stew, we're going to have him. If anybody knows in the DMV culture, they know P Stew. P Stew is going to be in the next Tuesday. So we got a nice lineup, man. Stay tuned for, we always try to get top flight talent such as this brother right here, man. Stay positive, as he said. It's a lot easier to be negative than it is to be positive. Just be positive. Avoid the nonsense. Cut out the middleman. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I digress. I'm Donnie B. Got the Beats. We live on the beat, and you already know what time it is. We out.
Donnie B. Got the